All new at 6, a Pinellas County nurse who recovered from COVID-19 is now fighting for his life. ABC Action News reporter Eric Waxler talked with his mother about the mysterious condition that now has him paralyzed.
Desmond Silva just graduated nursing school and immediately started working on the front lines against COVID-19.
Desmond has a family of nurses, and he was born to be a nurse as well.
Desmond's mom says she was worried when he tested positive for coronavirus, but was grateful he got through it with no major symptoms.
We figured, he was young, 22, healthy, he was just going to whiz through it.
Desmond even went back to work at Largo Medical Center, but 2 months after his recovery, something happened.
He said that he had pain in the back of his neck, pain in the back of his head, and he knew that something was wrong immediately.
Desmond ended up in the emergency room last Thursday. Since then, he's been on a ventilator and paralyzed from the neck down. His mom, who's also a nurse, says he's being treated for inflammation of the spinal cord caused by a viral infection. She says doctors are stumped about his case and how it's related to COVID-19.
No parent should go through, what we're going through. This does stem from COVID. We want, people to be educated that it's something serious.
Desmond's mom says he needs to go to a specialist in Boston. She is praying and hopeful.
Right now, it's just based on faith.
Eric Waxler, ABC Action News.
As the national death toll surpasses 150,000, this morning 21 states are now in the so-called red zone for their rapid rate of transmission, according to a federal report first obtained by the New York Times. And now, as President Trump urges more states to reopen, top officials on the White House Coronavirus Task Force are now urging some statewide mask mandates. In audio obtained by the Daily Beast, Dr. Deborah Birx told governors, by the time you see hospitalizations, your community spread is so wide that you flipped into a red state incredibly quickly. NBC News has not verified the audio and has reached out to the White House for comment. Doctors on the front line say the fight against COVID is being undermined by Americans who refuse to wear masks and ignore social distancing.
You see that all these deaths are preventable. They're preventable. And people just don't pay attention. And that's extremely frustrating.
A new coronavirus milestone in the U.S., the number of confirmed COVID-19 deaths there hitting 150,000 Wednesday, and a new warning that that number could skyrocket. Florida reporting a record single-day spike in coronavirus deaths for a second straight day, with 217 fatalities Wednesday. At least 6 other states this week also confirming all-time highs for daily deaths. And now the Association of American Medical Colleges warns if the country doesn't change its course soon, deaths in the U.S. could well be in the multiples of hundreds of thousands. The group calling for a reset to the U.S. approach to the pandemic and sharing a roadmap that urges increased testing and national standards on face coverings. And as infections and hospitalizations continue to climb in many areas, Donald Trump falsely claiming Tuesday,
you can look at large portions of our country, it's corona-free.
Trump traveled to Texas Wednesday. One person who was scheduled to take that trip but backed out, a Republican representative from that state who reportedly tested positive for the virus before boarding Air Force One, just a day after he was spotted on Capitol Hill next to the U.S. Attorney General, both not wearing masks. Melissa Duggan, City News.
The total number of coronavirus cases reported in the United States passed 4 million on Thursday, another grim milestone that highlighted a rapid acceleration of infections in the country. A Reuters tally showed that it took the U.S. just 16 days to go from 3 million to 4 million cases. The average number of new cases in the U.S. now rising by more than 2,600 every hour, the highest rate in the world. But it's not just cases, hospitalizations and deaths are also increasing in the U.S. Florida and Alabama reported record one-day increases in COVID-19 deaths on Thursday, while California, Nevada, and Texas all reported their highest one-day increases in deaths on Wednesday. mirrored a rise in tensions between federal, state, and local leaders over how to respond to the pandemic, including whether to order the wearing of face coverings, a common practice in the rest of the world that has become highly politicized in the United States.
We are supposed to be physically distancing, wearing masks, and so
geopolitical tensions came to a head on Thursday when the head of the World Health Organization responded to comments made by U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who questioned the WHO chief's independence and accused him of being pro-China.
The comments are untrue and unacceptable, and without any foundation for that matter.
Another issue that's become politicized in the U.S. is whether schools should fully reopen in the fall. At a coronavirus briefing at the White House on Thursday, President Donald Trump, whose poll numbers are slipping over his handling of the pandemic, said states that are currently virus hotspots may need to delay reopening schools by a few weeks.
Hello, my name is Tim Black, TBTV. I have some bad news to share with you. One-time presidential Republican candidate and former CEO of Godfather's Pizza, Herman Cain, has died from coronavirus complications. I said it's unknown. No one has confirmed where Herman Cain contracted the COVID virus. As the co-chair of Black Voices for Trump, Cain was one of the surrogates of President Donald Trump's June 20th rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At that rally, he took pictures and video of dancing. No one was wearing facial coverings. Everyone was partying. Could have caught it then, it could have caught it after it. Herman Cain, he did a lot in his life. No one deserves to go out like this. No one.
And this is 28-year-old Maya Ramirez, the first COVID-19 patient in the USA to get a double lung transplant. This startling photo shows what her lungs looked like after her battle with coronavirus. At a news conference at Northwestern Memorial Hospital in Chicago, the paralegal was on a ventilator for 6 weeks.
There's a family out there that's grieving their loved one. I have that person's lungs, and how lucky I was to have received it.
She revealed she still suffers the psychological after effects of her ordeal.
I still have lingering effects from that, but I think what hurts the most is knowing everything my family went through during the time that I was intubated.